a naturopath, which is a nutritionist and a herbalist, and I specialize in women's hormonal issues. And I make and create therapeutic products to help women balance their hormones naturally. I also consult. So I do, it used to be, I've been a naturopath now for, gosh, nearly 20 years. And I've been consulting for about 15 years, one-to-one with clients. And in the last 3 to 4 years, I started developing my own range of products. And that has now taken off, and I kind of would probably do 80% retail now to 20% client work. And yeah, absolutely love it. So leading up to the pandemic, I was probably doing more consulting, and my retail side of the business was, yeah, about 20%, 80% consulting. And then I noticed even though a lot of my consulting was online, what I started to notice during the pandemic is people started buying gifts for other friends as a kind of just like pick me up. And, you know, I would write little messages to friends, and it became very gifty. And one thing that I love to do is wrap all my products, which I've always done from the get-go. And I think they look really lovely when they arrive. And yes, I noticed that sales were picking up, not so much for people buying for themselves, which I'd say was before the pandemic, it was a lot for that. People were buying things for, say, their period problems or hormonal issues. But during the pandemic, people started buying for other people. And then it just kept going. It just kept going. And all of a sudden I had to, my consulting side started to sort of take, I had to not take on as many clients because the retail side started to pick up so much. And now I'd say it's 80% retail, 20% client work. And so the pandemic for me just changed my overall business, really. Moved it more online, but to a sort of, that sort of well-being, almost the gift side of things, which I absolutely loved. I've really embraced it because, again, I've been able to be really creative with the products that I make, and how I want things presented, the labeling, all of that kind of stuff I've absolutely enjoyed. And I think lockdown actually helped me be able to thrive in that sort of side of things. So yeah, for me, it was brilliant. I get up in the morning and I have a shower usually first thing, and breakfast, and then I like to pot around and do sort of little admin things until about 10, and that's when I will leave my house and I'll come to the studio, and then it's at the studio where I do a lot of my where I make my products, label them out, package them, and then the post office, because I'm still going to the post office, I need to get there by 4:30, so I'll work until then, but I will usually take a break around 1, and my house conveniently is just on the next road, so I will nip home and have lunch back at my house for an hour. And my husband's at home as well, so it's just a nice time to be with him. He usually makes lunch as well, which is quite nice. But yeah, that's sort of my day. But I will sometimes work into the evenings. I don't mind doing it, especially when I'm making things. I can watch Netflix or listen to podcasts and things like that. And I just quite enjoy doing that in the evenings at home as well. Maybe because I got used to doing that during lockdown. I mean, Instagram, I think, is an amazing place for inspiration. Pinterest, magazines. I renovated in my house 5 years ago, and I realized during that whole process that I loved the sort of Scandi vibe, minimal, natural woods, all of that kind of things. And I incorporated a lot of that style into my house. And it was at roughly the same time that I started up, a new website. The Nikki Apothecary. I wanted to, create that sort of clean, again, that kind of clean look, And I think that's sort of what happens when you look at your brand. It sort of influences your house, what you wear, your website. It all kind of goes together, and then even the products that I make all have that sort of similar look. So yeah, it's following other accounts, I guess, that have that look as well. But just going back to just those clean, eucalyptus is one of my favorite plants. That sort of Aussiness, I think, as well brings. I've just got some over there, and the smell of it reminds me of home. But it's just, yeah, it's that sort of simple look, and nature is a massive influence, and the seasons. And I think Instagram as well, it's very seasonal, and people, that's what I love about it. People capture the seasons, and yeah, I think nature's amazing. And also I think from being Australian coming over to the UK, I think when you get used to being in a certain area, you maybe don't see the beauty in it. Whereas when I first came over here, I just remembered everything being so green and lush, and the different seasons, because in Australia you don't get the seasons like you do in the UK. And I think with Instagram, it's like it's like following the seasons, and I don't know, I guess that's where that's sort of that inspiration. Winter, it's about cozying up, woolly jackets, candles, fires, and embracing that. At the moment, I still make all of my products, but I have had throughout the Christmas period, and I'm now going to have a regular girl that comes once a week to help pack orders and put labels on, and help me make product and things like that. Just because my biggest kind of hurdle is stock, and having enough stock, because a lot of the times I'm making to demand, and what I would love to have is a shelf full of stock ready to go. But it's time, so I'm going to outsource that this year, like having someone come in regularly to come in and make the stock. But what I have found, I used to do all my own photography, which would take up a lot of time. And then I met a wonder photographer called Lauren Barber, and she now does a lot of if I'm about to launch a new product, I will send it to her, and she'll take some fabulous photos, and it's just brilliant. I just wish I'd done that earlier. And also I've got a website girl that helps maintain my website and update that as well, even though I have learned a lot along the way on how to keep it fresh myself. It's just time consuming, and I think actually you do need to look at delegating things to people that, if they specialize in that, get them to do that for you. And it just frees up your time to be able to do other things. And also being a creative person, you've got to, or new products, it takes up so much of your mind, and headspace. And if you're constantly doing all the time, you don't have time to, think about new products and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having someone consistently in helping me make the product. The biggest challenge is it's time, not having enough time to do everything that you want, and that's why I think outsourcing is one of the things I need to start doing, and getting people to having people in helping me make product, so I've got stock to go. Because it's not just about making product, it's it's the packaging, it's the postal, things go missing in the post, and then you've got to chase all of that, and then stock control, making sure you've got enough stock. There's so much behind the scenes to get a product to someone's home. And I think that's the biggest challenges, is that it's just nothing is quick and easy. It's all very time consuming, but I think that's putting systems in place is going to be is one of the best things to start doing, and delegating. I think the best advice I'd give is just to start, because things can change. You can change your logo, you can change everything down the track. My logo's been changed twice, I had a website before Nikki Apothecary that was like completely different than to what it is now, and it just doesn't matter. No one will remember that, and I think it's just start, and also look at your lifestyle at the moment. You know, if you've got young children, and you know, it's hard. It's really hard. The mum guilt is huge, and I think I probably went really into my business when my kids started school, just purely because you just had more time to focus on that. And I think to not be so hard on yourself. You don't have to have everything perfect. It is just about starting it. And I think it's a life, you know, if this is something you're really passionate about, it's a life, like, you know, it's you can be doing this all your life, you know, and so there's not really that time pressure. You can, you know, it's something you just want to enjoy and involve, and yeah, not be so hard on yourself.